Hello all, myself Michael and today we are going to see about LPT. Before that, we are going to see about NDT. What is NDT? NDT is non-destructive test and DT is destructive test. Um, NDT have four methods: uh, ultrasonic testing, radiographic testing, magnetic particle testing, and the liquid penetrator testing. Now we are going to see about liquid penetration test. Introduction: Dye penetrant inspection (DPI), also called liquid penetrant inspection (LPI), or penetrant testing (PT), is one of the oldest and simplest NDT methods. Where its earliest versions using kerosene and oil mixture dates back to the 19th century. Liquid penetrant inspection is used to detect any surface-connected discontinuities such as cracks from fatigue quenching. Quenching is an example like to have a cold drink when thirsty. An example of to quench is to put out a fire. And grinding as well as fractures. Porosity. Porosity is defined as being full of tiny holes that water or air get through. An example of porosity is the quality of a sponge. Incomplete fission. Incomplete fission is a weld discontinuity in which fission did not occur between weld metal and the fission faces or adjoining weld beads. This is the image of cracks and applying penetrant. History: The oil and whiting method, used in the railroad industry in the early 1900s, was the first recognized use of the principle of penetrance to detect cracks. The oil and whiting method used an oil solvent for cleaning followed by the application of a whiting or chalk coating. Whiting method means calcium carbonate ground into fine powder, washed and used especially as a pigment and extender. This is the picture about history of LPT. The LPT main principle is capillary action. Straw lowered into water, water climbs the straw. The capillary tubes are thin, very thin tubes made of a rigid material such as plastic or glass in which a liquid flows up into the tubes against gravity in a process called capillary action. The mostly diameter it has 5 to 2.2 mm. It is in capillary tubes are used in domestic refrigerant and deep freezers and water coolers and air conditioners. Principles: DPA is based upon capillary action, where low surface tension fluid penetrates into clean and dry surface breaking discontinuities. Penetrant may be applied to the test component by dipping, spraying, or brushing. After adequate penetration time has been allowed, the excess penetrant is removed, a developer is applied. The developer helps to draw penetrant out of the flow where an invisible indication becomes visible to the inspector. Inspection is performed under ultraviolet or white light depending upon the type of dye used, fluorescent or non-fluorescent visible. Most important parameters that are used in liquid penetrant test. Understanding of penetrant testing is possibly one only if some required parameters are studied. These parameters are important to use the pattern testing in better way. Capillary action, wetting ability, contact angle, coercive and aggressive forces, surface tension, viscosity, dwell time, penetrability, volatility, flammability, chemical activity, bleeding, blotting. Capillary action. The movement of water within the spaces of a porous material due to the forces of adhesion, cohesion, and surface tension. Capillary action. Sometimes capillarity, capillary motion, capillary effect, or wicking is the process of a liquid flowing in a narrow space without the assistance of or even in opposition to any external forces like gravity. Example, the tree. Coercive and aggressive forces. The force of coercion is defined as the force of attraction between molecules of the same substance. The force of adhesion is defined as the force of attraction between different substances. Contact angle or wetting angle. Contact angle is also known as wetting angle. Angle of the contact between penetrant and the material surface is called contact angle or wetting angle. Penetrant contact angle should be 0 degree to 5 degree. 95 degree is bad wetting, 45 degree is good wetting, 0 degree is complete wetting. Surface tension. Surface tension is the tendency of liquid surfaces at rest to shrink into the minimum surface area possible. Surface tension is what allows objects with a higher density than water, such as razor blades and insects, to float on a water surface without becoming even partly submerged. This is the example of surface tension. The insects float on a water surface without becoming even partly submerged. Viscosity. Viscosity relates to the thickness or body of a fluid and is a result of molecular or internal friction. Excessive viscosity results in long dwell times. Low viscosity leads to reduced dwell times but make the penetrant prone to overwashing. This must not dissolve the penetrant in defects. This is the example of viscosity. The water has low viscosity, olive oil has medium viscosity, honey have high viscosity. Dwell time. The penetrant is allowed dwell time to soak into any flask 5 minutes to 2 hours. The dwell time mainly depends upon the penetrant being used, the material being tested, and the size of flask sought. Blotting and bleeding. Pulling off the penetrant by the developer uses blotting phenomena. Bleeding is the spreading of the penetrant. It will act together to pull and spread the penetrant from the flaw, which will give a clear visible indication. This is the example of blotting and bleeding. We are applying developer and we will find the crack. The crack will be in red color. The defect will bleed. Before starting the test, the first step in PT is pre-cleaning. To the surface to be examined, direction of any discontinuity in the surface will be free from the contamination. That process is called pre-cleaning. If any contamination is present, means make false indication in inspection. Contaminations are like oil, grease, dust, rust, etc. The test surface is cleaned to remove any dirt, paint, oil, grease, or any loose scale that could either keep penetrant out of a defect or cause irrelevant or false indication. Types of cleaning: mechanical cleaning, chemical cleaning, solvent cleaning, special cleaning. Grinding, buffing, wire brushing, sandblasting, shot blasting, vapor decreasing. Grinding. Grinding is removing surface under rust. Surface thickness reduced at least 0.5 mm. This is the picture of grinding. Buffing. Buffing is used for paint and scale removal. Buffing is a polishing process. Buffing used to remove the surface rust and dust by the energy shield and buffing machine. Buffing is defined as a finishing process that involves the use of a loose abrasive on a wheel to polish a workpiece. A manufacturing company may use a wheel that's covered with an abrasive disc. Wire brushing. It is also used to remove the surface rust, scale, dust contamination, and welding splatters. It may produce scratches, not recommended to soft nature materials. Wire brushes are an excellent choice for the removal of rust and oxidations, paint, slag, weld splatter, and other unwanted surface contaminants with angle grinders, bench grinders, or drills. Sandblasting. This method is used to removing thin scale formation, but sand may be close to the discontinuity. Sandblasting is the process of smoothing and cleaning a hard surface by forcing solid particles across that surface at high speeds using compressed air. Sandblasting can also be used to change the condition of a metal surface, such as torque, removing scratches or casting marks. Compared to sandblasting, it saves time and money. Sandblasting is compared to sandblasting, it saves money and time. Chemical cleaning, alkaline cleaning, acid cleaning, etching. Chemical cleaning. Due to metal loss, some industries are preferred to chemical cleaning to remove the surface contamination. Alkaline cleaning. Alkaline cleaners are non-flammable water solutions containing special detergents for wetting, penetrating, and emulsifying various types of soils. This method is commonly used for industries to clean the surface, select scale formation and oil formation. Example is sodium nitrate and sodium hydroxide. Acid cleaning. This method is used for removing hard surface contaminants materials. Example nitric acid, acetic acid. Etching: materials previously machined or materials subjected to mechanical cleaning may be etched to remove smeared metal that could mask discontinuities. Solvent cleaning: special cleaning, water or detergent cleaning, steam cleaning, ultrasonic cleaning. Solvent cleaning: solvent-type cleaners may be selected for cleaning when other equipment is not available. The solvent may be applied manually, but care must be taken to ensure that all discontinuities and surfaces are free from contamination. It is commonly used for petroleum-based products. Solvent is consists of chlorine, fluorine, and sulfur. Solvent is applied on a lint-free cloth and wiping over the material surface. Cleaning should be only one direction. Solvent should be directly applied on a material surface. Water or detergent cleaning: washing machines using hot water and detergents may be used to clean pots. Their use depends greatly on the type of contaminant present. Pots covered with oil or grease are not satisfactorily cleaned by this method. Steam cleaning: steam cleaning is the modification of the hot tank alkaline cleaning method that can be used for cleaning large unwieldy. Ultrasonic testing: this is the gif about ultrasonic testing. The material is dipped in the water and they will take the rest will be removed. This is ultrasonic testing. When discontinuities are filled with hard contaminants such as oxides, carbon, or varnish, ultrasonic cleaning can be used to lose, lose air and remove these contaminants. By passing the sound the material of contamination. An ultrasonic cleaner is a device that cleans the items by using ultrasound and water are an appropriate cleaning solvent. Also, it can be said to be a machine that offers the complete and rapid removal of dirt, germs, and other contaminants from items that are put in a tank of water that irrigated with the sound waves having a high frequency. Apply penetrant: this is generally done by spraying penetrant from the aerosol can or applying it with a brush. A dwell soak time needs to be observed to allow for the penetrant to permeate into cracks and voids. Dwell time: temperature of the atmosphere, temperature of the material, material surface smooth, rough, position of material horizontal, vertical or overhead, types of discontinuity shallow, narrow. Note: ASME Section 5, Article 4, Table 672 for dwell time Part 5. Excess penetrant removal: the excess penetrant may be removed from the object surface with a simple water rinse or cloth. Apply developer: the developer can be applied by dipping parts in a container of developer. We are applying developer 45-degree type and spray in material. Defect will bleed. Let's see the small animation. Pre-clean the test piece. Apply penetrant. The pink bottle is penetrant. The penetrant is inside the crack and allowed to soak. Rinse the test piece using cloths or water to remove the excess penetrant and let it dry. Apply developer. This yellow like developer, but it's white developer and wait. Apply developer and wait. The crack will bleed. Coating. That's it. That's all.
This is
Now see the last video.
and this is
Liquid
developer.
penetrant testing.
The white bottle is cleaner. In LPT, we use the material is cleaner, penetrant, developer, and a brush. The material we used in this video is carbon steel. The first step is pre-cleaning. Now we clean the material using dry cloth to remove the dust. Contaminations should be removed by any possible cleaning method depends upon the flow of the penetrant into what may be only a microscopic opening. Such flow cannot occur with carbon, oil, dirt, water, paint, oxide, plating, or similar materials. Cover or fills the discontinuity. Therefore, unless the part is clean and free from foreign material that may mask discontinuities, reliable penetrant examination may not be accomplished. After clean with dry cloths, we use to cleaner to clean the material. Applying cleaner to the cloth and clean the material. Various techniques are available to be used for the pre-cleaning operation. The particular technique to be used in a given situation depends on the following: the type of contaminant present, the condition of the surface, the type of material being examined, any combination of the above reason. Applying penetrant in the material. Using brush to apply the penetrant in the material. The ability to spread and to penetrate the surface is needed. The requirements is ability to penetrate very fine openings, ability to remain in coarse openings, resistance to evaporation, easy of removal from the surface, resistance to being cleaned from open openings, mobility to reappear from openings quickly, ability to spread in very thin films, non-flammability, non-toxicity, reasonable cost, stability under conditions of storage, freedom from odor. After applying penetrant, we need to wait 10 minutes. It's called dwell time. After the dwell time, we need to remove the excess penetrant removal. Removed with a clean, dry, lint-free cloth or absorbent toweling. Remainder shall be removed with a water-damp cloth or towel. The surface shall not be flushed with water, and the cloth or towel shall not be saturated with water. The components shall be examined under appropriate illumination to ensure adequate removal of the surface penetrant. The surface shall be dried by blotting with a cleaning dry towel or cloth or by evaporation. Penetrant that has not entered into discontinuities and remains on the surfaces of the test component at the end of the penetrant time. This is called as excess penetrant. Before applying penetrant, it is good practice to perform a careful visual inspection of the test surface. Penetrant can be applied by almost any method, but in some circumstances, overall test sensitivity can be affected by the method of application. As an example, a dip and drain method will usually provide better sensitivity than a simple immersion method. Removal of excess penetrant shall be removed to avoid excessive background. Care must be taken while removing excess penetrant to avoid overwash or underwash. Also, we use it to clean with the cleaner to the material. After removal of excess penetrant removal, we apply developer in the material. We apply developer 45-degree angle. The purpose of a developer is to increase the brightness intensity of fluorescent indication and the visible. Fine powder either used in dry form or suspension, usually talc of 50 mu size, but for fluorescent penetrant, fluffy amorphous silica powder is used. Basic functions are blotting, pull back, bleeding, spread, contrast. Developer is applied to get the penetrant in the discontinuities back to the surface by capillary action, but in the reverse direction. It tends to enhance or make discontinuities appear larger than actual size. It also creates a white background which will have greater degree of contrast between the indication and the background. The defect will bleed in the material in the color of red. Developer is not must for fluorescent type it if want to just detect defects. Contrast of visible penetrant indications. The last step is post clean. After that we remove the developer powder using the cloths. we post clean the materials using cleaner.
Thank you.